Hey guys, it's Brent, and this is Stoopid. So, a couple of weeks ago, I had a lovely conversation with two gals that I met. I interviewed them for my horror movie podcast, Shriek Previews, which you should check out. Anyway, Kelly and Michelle, they're based out of Portland, Oregon, and they are the owners of Sinister Coffee and Creamery. They sell coffee by the bag and such. They sell ice cream and such. And they're also paranormal investigators because, of course, that fits in perfectly with coffee and ice cream and such. So, Kelly and Michelle, thank you so much for the coffee samples, and I'm going to review them here right now. Now, please keep in mind, I know nothing about coffee. I like coffee, but I'm not a connoisseur. So these review terms and criteria, I'm just going to be pulling them out of my backside and making stuff up as I go. So this is their apparition coffee. And ingredients, this is their Guatemalan roasts, which means the beans are grown and picked in Guatemala, as opposed to grown in Guatemala and picked elsewhere. That's very difficult. You can only do that if you truly are like a ghost. So this is a full city roast. Now, I mentioned that they are based out of Portland, Oregon. So Portland's a big city. So what they do is they roasted this when there were a lot of people in the city. It was like rush hour or a holiday, or maybe there was a sports event and such. And all the energy from the people soaks into the coffee. And you can see there's actually a bean still in there. Now, Sinister Coffee and Creamery, they don't advertise that the coffee is haunted, but they don't necessarily promise that the coffee is not haunted either. So, this is the apparition is the coffee that I'm going to try. It was whole bean, but we ground it up. And now you can see it's got kind of like a dark amber color there. I'm drinking out of mason jars because I'm classy, and also it allows us to see the color. You can see that kind of dark amber color there, and give it a little. Oh yeah, see, I can smell the earthy, beany tones to it, and now, see, this coffee was brewed at exactly 91.4 degrees, which is an important temperature for coffee brewing because it brings out all the acids and the tannins and the beaniness from the coffee. I can definitely taste the Guatemalan notes to it and such, definitely, as opposed to like a Peruvian or a Colombian coffee. Guatemalan is it's a little more South American than other ones that you get. So very good. Now I take my coffee without cream or sugar, so that I can really get the full coffee flavor. This is very good. I would pair this with, say, maybe like a bagel, like a poppy seed bagel, or a cheese Danish, something like that. Fantastic. So that was the apparition blend, Guatemalan full city roast from Sinister Coffee and Creamery. Now we come over to the Spectre. Now this is a Peruvian roast, and this is a city roast, not a full city roast. So this is more of a laid back time of day in the city, so there's not the streets aren't packed. It was like probably like 2 p.m. on a Tuesday or something like that. So you get more of a little mellowness to it. Now this has got a little more dark brown to it, whereas the apparition had a little more of a rosy, reddish amber color. This has definitely got solid brown. You can see just a thin layer at the top of, it almost seems like it's separating a little bit. That may be the actual ectoplasm from the Spectre. I'm not exactly sure, but okay. Now this one tastes a little more mild. but it's a little more bitter than the apparition. A specter is a more hardcore type of haunting, so I can see why they named this one Specter as opposed to just apparition. This one bites you a little harder, but it's got a good full-bodied flavor. I definitely can taste the Peruvian influence here, like almost I can almost see the ziggurats and the pyramids in the I'm talking about the South American pyramids. They're called maybe ziggurat, whatever. They're not called pyramids, but they're more of a step type thing. I can't remember what they're called off the top, but I can kind of taste that flavor in there. I can kind of picture a jaguar warrior running through the jungle with his spear and his shield and chasing after an antelope, ready to bring it down to take home and pair with his coffee that he roasts in his backyard in his yurt. So that one's good. I think I like the apparition better. But that's probably that full city roast. You know, you more people involved. It's got a lot more energy. You should check them out. You can get either of these coffees and more on their website, which is sinistercoffeeandcreamery.com. And while you're there, you can check out their blog, which is all about paranormal research, different ghost stories. People write in about their own stories. Really fascinating reading. Great stuff to read while you're enjoying a cup of coffee. So, again, that's sinistercoffeeandcreamery.com. Check them out. They're in the Portland, Oregon area, but they do ship. Kelly and Michelle, thank you again. Guys, I hope you liked the video. Yes, this was stupid, but not because of what I was drinking, but because the way I was reviewing it. I was making all that crap up, but you probably knew that. We'll see you tomorrow.